Good morning, everyone, and Merry Christmas. This is Joe. Welcome to my reflection for this Christmas Day, Sunday, December the 25th. I hope you're doing well, and if you're here in the Northeast or in most of this country, you're continuing to stay as warm as possible in this very cold temperatures. Once again, I want to say please keep an eye out for animals that may be out. They need to be in the warm weather. They can't survive in this weather. Their life is precious, and we must realize that all life is precious, especially on this day. This day when we celebrate the birth of Christ is a day to really reflect on the precious gift of life. It is so important for us to always be mindful of that and in gratitude, in a place of gratitude and willingness to do something more. And with that in mind, I'm going to ask you to quiet your minds and hearts as we prepare to hear today's gospel from St. John, chapter 1, verses 1 through 18. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came to be through him, and without him nothing came to be. What came to be through him was life, and this life was the light of the human race. And light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. A man named John was sent from God. He came for testimony, to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He was not the light, but came to testify to the light. The true light which enlightens everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came to be through him, but the world did not know him. He came to what was his own, but his own people did not accept him. But to those who did accept him, he gave power to become children of God, to those who believe in his name, who were not born by natural generation, nor by human choice, nor by a man's decision, but of God. And the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. And we saw his glory, the glory of his Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. John testified to him and cried out, saying, "This was he of whom I said, 'The one who is coming after me ranks ahead of me, because he existed before me.' From his fullness we have received grace in place of grace, because while the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God. The only Son of God, who is at the Father's side, has revealed him." That is the beginning of John's Gospel, which tells us over 2,000 years ago about the Word being where Christ dwells. Nothing has changed. 2,000 years later, nothing has changed. 2,000 years of celebrating his birthday, nothing has changed. Or has it? If you look at the same stats I look at or hear about, you will see that Christianity is dropping all over the world. So many people are not as involved, interacted, or connected to their faith. And what a sad reality that seems to be. We could throw up our hands and say, well, that's it. We can't do anything about this. There are many reasons for this drop. I won't go into them right now, but I'll bet you if you guessed, you'd come up with at least a couple in the top 10, because we all know maybe what they are. But let's take a different focus today, my friends. Let's take a different focus, because today really we celebrate the birth of Christ, and we need to, in our own way, recharge our faith, recharge what is rooted in us in this Christianity. For where is it? Well, it resides in us as well. John's gospel was very clear that we are in a powerful connection, like an umbilical cord. Jesus is the only one who had two umbilical cords, one to his mother and one to us. And in fact, we too own a share of this important mission to bring Christ to the world. So instead of looking at the drop, let's look within ourselves. Look within ourselves of where we can rebirth ourselves, where we can do what we can do to look at ourselves and the world around us and to bring Christ's light, which is so well defined in that gospel, into the world. Now, where do we look? Well, I will tell you where I think we should look. Guess that was a setup. Where you should look in those places where we haven't looked for a while. I think it's very telling that Jesus was in a manger, out among nowhere. He was not in the most common place that he might be found. He was in a place where it was very remote, very unknown, amongst the animals, amongst the lowly. And that's where he chose to be born. And amongst those lowly parts of ourselves, amongst those parts that we haven't investigated in ourselves recently, and in the world around us, in those places where we maybe have pushed aside some thoughts, pushed aside some knowledge, like animals and the plight that they are in, and how much more we can learn about it. This may be where God is directing all of us to this new Christianity, a place where we can go within ourselves, within the world around us that we haven't seen recently, knowing we are powerfully connected and through an umbilical cord to the baby Jesus, and all that we can do in a positive way. My friends, I can easily sum this up. The reflections that I have been doing are the exact reason for everything I just stated. I feel we do need a different place, a different look, a look at the scriptures that brings joy instead of darkness, light and happiness, and it's possible. And I say Merry Christmas to you with enthusiasm and gratitude that you join me on these videos, on this Facebook Live, and you come back later in the day if you miss it live, and you give me your positive comments. And guess what? We are doing exactly what the world needs. We are starting a new way of thinking of what the word truly means. Well, my friends, Merry Christmas to you, to your loved ones. I hope I gave you something positive to think about today in a place where it seems like there needs to be more positivity. And yes, we can do it together. Remember, you are connected to this baby Jesus. Remember, there are places within you and right around you to look, to shine that light and be that light. I wish you all again a Merry Christmas. I hope to see you back here soon. I will see you back here tomorrow, and have a great day. Take care.